Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again, TGIF. Again, another week you made it through. Don't they go fast? Okay, I wanted to start off today's episode with a little bit of a story. You know how sometimes we have regrets? We talk about things we regret, and I have a regret that I have on film. I was looking through some of my old videos because I got a clear up memory on my phone, and I saw this video, and I wanted to show it to you before I erased it. This happened, I used to work for the MTA here in New York, and you know, it was a strict company when I first started. We started off as a private company, and it was so strict, if I was 1 minute late getting to work, they would send you home. And so, you know, there was a lot of pressure going on, you know, and when I was going to work one day, you always had to give yourself extra time because of that 1 minute rule. So I had about 10 minutes, you know, and I only worked 10 minutes away from where I live. So I'm on my way to work, and I come across this piece of furniture being thrown out. And, you know, when you see things thrown out, you know, and I have the same exact piece of furniture upstairs that was my grandmother's I restored. It's called a secretary. And the footage you're about to see is me coming across this piece of furniture and looking it over, and saying how beautiful it is, and how I want to take it, but I only have like 5 minutes to be able to grab this, tie it up, get it on, and I'm alone. And I can't lift this thing on top of my truck, and it was just very frustrating. Check out the footage. In the garbage. Mahogany. Vintage pencil sharpener. Drawers with lock. And of course, God, this is so nice. Such an easy restoration. Got the claws feet on the bowling claws feet on the bottom. I gotta take this. Now, I know what you're saying. A lot of you were saying, I would have done whatever I had to. And even my friends, like, when you call me, I would have came and picked it. I was just, what could I do? I had to leave it. I went to work. I came back. It was gone, obviously. But it was just such a beautiful piece. I should have took that piece. I don't have the room for it. But it was too nice. I'm so glad somebody got it instead of it going into the trash. All right, so to start today's episode, I have a gift from a friend in Maine, my buddy Cliff, and I want you to check it out. It's something really interesting. Now, my buddy Cliff from Maine, he has a YouTube channel, Mr. Doughboy 356, and you've heard me talk about him before. He sent some small miniatures. He does all kind of miniature work and restores cars. He does a lot of stuff. He's like my brother from another mother. We have so much in common. Anyway, he said, hey, I got this Marine Corps knife I got to send you because, you know, he said, I have it, and it's just, you know, and look at this. It's a nice, let me open it up for you. Show it. There it is open. It's a nice, I like that. It's like a, what do they call it? Clip point, drop point. Anyway, beautiful knife. You know, it's just something I like. But the funny thing is, you don't realize it, but this thing is absolutely huge. Look at the size of this, you know? I mean, isn't that something? Like, you know, I love when things have the same proportions, but they're huge. Like, look, you know, and when I tell you it's big, here's a regular, you know, X-Acto next, you know, you see what I mean? It's just gorgeous. But he said it was a little scratched up because it was, you know, in his garage under his car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to polish up the handle here. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use Meguiar's plastics. This stuff is really good. Inexpensive, and it works really good. You can use it for headlights. You can use it for anything plastic. So we're going to clean it up and then first wipe it down with a little alcohol and then use this and see how it comes out. Now on the other side of the knife, you could notice here, there's a little scuff mark here where it must have took a header. So wipe that down with alcohol, and then you can always touch it up with something a little black. I'm going to use a little black magic marker, and then hopefully we can wax over. Now you can see the black magic marker. It always leaves a little bit of blue behind, but again, from a few feet away, it does mask it a little bit. So then we'll put some wax. Okay, we're calling this done. Look how nice the shine came out on that. You see that? With that, I waxed it after I did the plastics, but you can see. You could just make out a little bit of the magic mark, but it's definitely better than a white spot there, right? So I love it. I love this knife, and look at that. And when they say, and I polished the blade a little bit, and I mean, show a little fingerprints now, but isn't this nice? It's just a, remember the Crocodile Dundee saying, when they say that's not a knife, this is a knife. Well, that's what I always think of this. Cliff, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, so after my last video, I was in the comments, I was talking to my buddy Upside Down Dog, and we were talking about the Craftsman screwdriver handles being able to be adapted to a wrench. A lot of people don't know that. I only found that out about a year ago from another YouTuber, and I said maybe some other people don't know about this. Let me pass this on. This is pretty cool. If you're like me, one of the things you look for in a screwdriver, and this I think these are my favorite screwdrivers, believe it or not, and they're made in China, but they're just bulletproof. They're just, the handles are fantastic because they're a German copy. But here, when you have the little hex shank on the bottom, but here even the shaft is a shank, a hex shank. So, and on the flat screwdriver, it's the same thing. You have a hex shank here and a larger hex shank here. Just, it's phenomenal the way they're made. So I really like these because of that. Now, you won't use that all the time, but that one time in 100 you need it, this will come in really handy. However, let's say you have our favorite pair of Craftsman screwdrivers, and like I said, I didn't know this before a year ago, but here they have a square shank on a lot of them that you could probably latch on, but never on their Phillips. Their Phillips are always round. So check this out. If you take a regular combination wrench and you could put it on here like this, and it will lock up, and it'll become a how cool is that? Now, for those of you that knew this right now, you're like saying, yeah, I knew that. But for those of you that didn't, say, I never knew that. And yeah, that locks right up with here. And you see that? And on the smaller handles here, we use a 15/16. Now, it doesn't work on all of them. I tried a few others, but look at that. Locks right up. Great thing to know. It might help you one day. Keep that in your bag of tricks. Okay, one other tip while I have these out. I bought these as a set just like this at a flea market, and I didn't get a chance to clean them up or anything. And it came like this with a twist tie here. Now, if I needed to use a wrench beforehand, a lot of times people would just grab it and clip it. But here's a good tip to save this zip tie. A lot of times, if you have it in a situation like this where you don't have to have it zipped down tight, what you do is you cut it very close, and it's very important to try and use a polished channel lock 437 diagonals, because these things just they work fantastic. So anyway, you cut it real close over here to the hold down point, okay, and then when you cut it like that, you pull this little section out, okay, and discard it. Now when you finish grabbing whatever wrench you need to grab, you can always put this back in, and it's good for another time. So you could do that 10 or 15 times before you have to try a new zip tie. Again, I got this with the set, so that's not the way I hold them or store them, but just remember, anytime you have to reuse the zip tie, just cut it real close to here and then pass it through again. Now, just a quick note, starting today, you could send in the hammer. We have the hammer challenge. Make a wooden mallet, a wooden hammer, and you still have a weekend left to do it. It's not due till Wednesday, but you can start sending in the photos starting today to my email address. I'll have it here, and this way we can post them up. But you still got another weekend to do it. There's plenty of time. In fact, I said to say I didn't even start mine yet, but I have pretty much planned what I want to do. So get moving if you haven't done it. You still got time. Don't wait to the last minute. You see, we're almost close to the last minute. So get working on that now. And last up, I wondered, have you ever seen a sky like this before? Kind of unusual, huh? It was on my way upstate. All right, I hope you have a nice weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.